No G's here, just two guys talking toys.
Roar! Did I scare you? Howdy, Tom.
Hey, what's going on, Dana?
Not much. Recording our next episode of Two Guys Talking Toys.
That's what we are. How have you been?
Pretty good. I can't complain.
Oh, that's good news.
I gotta stop saying that. I can't complain.
I tend to do that a fair amount as well. It leads people to think that there are plenty of things that I want to gripe about. Usually they are self-conscious, so they assume it's about them.
Right.
Nah, it's not about you. It's just
Right. Well, aside from my conversation with you, most people I speak to, I would likely complain about.
They have it coming.
Yeah, they do.
So, do you have any new finds this week?
I do. I got a couple of things this week, but I'm only going to share visually one of them. So I got Falcon from the G.I. Joe Classified series, who oddly looks like the love child of Kurt Russell and Richard Nixon, which was bizarre. And Cover Girl, which was cool because, she was a former model, hence the name Cover Girl. So she's got the makeup and a little bit of, she's got a little bit of a shirt thing going on, but nothing inappropriate. But they did a good job of making it seem
done.
Yeah, making it seem like she's a Cover Girl. But the one I wanted to share was another holy grail that I've been looking for a million years. When I was a kid, my brothers and I had this. I never knew what it was. It was just a monster with 6 legs. It was a green space lizard thing, and then I finally figured out what it was, and I've been looking for it. I couldn't find it, and today it was found, and so it's Terron, the Beast from Beyond, and it's from the Super Joe Adventure Team.
Oh my god, I love the look of it. What is he? He looks awesome. So I'm at a loss for words.
What is he? I don't know. He's from Super Joe Adventure Team. He's from outer, I don't know if he's supposed to be like prehistoric or from outer space or both. It's 1978, so who cares, right? But
that is super cool.
Yeah, so his eyes, there's a light bulb in there, right? And so his eyes light up, and this mouth, the tongue in there is like red plastic, and it lights up. And then so there was not like a remote control, but like a thing that plugged into the front here, where you could make him walk.
Oh my god, the 6 leg! There's so many things going through my mind right now with the image of this creature. He looks like Hanna-Barbera.
Yeah,
collided,
like Tendril
collided with the Dragon Walker.
Yeah, and his face looks like a Tuatara, if it's like a
like he belongs with the Herculoids.
He does. This is awesome. And the texture,
God, awesome.
if you could see the texture, he's well scaled.
That's really well done.
Yeah,
that's a lot of detailing. For what year was it again?
1978.
That's really good. And you said the mouth lights up, or
yeah.
Have you had a chance to mess with it and see if it?
No,
because
it takes D-cell batteries, so we don't have any hanging around.
You don't have any giant 1980s boom boxes hanging around your house?
Yes, but Blaster wouldn't let me take it out of him.
He's a big dude. I wouldn't fight.
Yeah, Super Joe Adventure Team.
That is a great find. I love that.
Yeah, that's a good find. I've been looking for it for countless years. So there he is.
I'm amazed that didn't get a re-release in some way, shape, or form somehow in like you say it's the Joe line. Why?
Right. It's cool. You always have those repurposed, like when you watch those cool shows like The Toys That Made Us, on Netflix. That's a shameless plug. But how like Battle Cat was the lion for another 12-inch line. I don't think it was G.I. Joe, but it was like
Jim. It was G.I. Joe with James.
Yeah, right. Big Jim or
manly man.
Right, that's your website, right? And so they would just shift things around. So I know that this was one of those things the company saw this and they wanted it, and they were like, "That's awesome! I'm going to buy it, but I don't know what we're going to do with it." And they just kind of stuck it in with the 12-inch Super Joe Adventure Team. So
that would
that's
work.
cool.
That would work great both with the classifieds and with the 3 3/4 line. You could have them be, a giant creepy, which is what he is, a giant creepy monster thing that the classifieds have to fight, or a gigantic city destroying beast that Cobra released.
Right. Because there's those kind of weird things turned up in the cartoon sometimes, like when they were on Easter Island, and
it would fit right in.
Yeah.
No one would really question it. They just be like, "Oh, yeah, all right, doing this now."
Yeah,
that is a great find.
How about you? Anything new?
I have gotten in a bunch of my Amazon orders came through at once, so I managed to get a hold of and I've been running back and forth to Target randomly looking at things. So I've managed to get a hold of, or rather, Amazon shipped me my Crimson Bats. So nice. I got 3 of these, who I have not opened yet
because 3 is the magic number.
That is
for loyal listener. Whenever you listen to Tom speak about troop building, 3 is a number. You don't have if you've got 2 troops, you're just some schmo. But 3,
yeah, like two, like one figure is like that's a separate individual guy. They're their own character. It's whomever, they have their own thoughts and feelings, whatever. 2 is like an elite guard, essentially, like how Lex Luthor had I forgot her name, Mercy, and
the guy in the movie, or in
from the animated series. Lex Luthor had it was usually Mercy that was with him, but there was another lady, and I forgot her name, and I'm a terrible Superman fan. But also in, I think it was the terrible Batman, the Schumacher one, where Two-Face had Sugar and Spice.
Yeah,
you need 2, and those are your like elite guards. But if you need a bunch of dudes, you assume that there's more coming.
Drew Barrymore.
Yep.
And then the other girl that was in Goodfellas, I can't remember her name. She played Frenchie, I think, or someone.
I forgot her name.
No, she's the one who sniffed the perfumes, like it's in Goodfellas.
But that was cool. So you need if you have someone you need assassinated, and you need like a special guard or elite something, you need there's 2 of them. But if you need just a whole bunch of random goons who are going to die horribly that you don't care about, 3. 3's your because it implies that there's more on the way. Which I've been considering for this is the other one. Slaughter's Marauders Barbecue, or Slaughter's, but do they make him barbecue? Like when they show up together, when they all hang out together, are the Joes like light it up barbecue, and he instead walks over and just sprays foam on it?
In the cartoon, he was the guy who would barbecue. He literally was. Even though Roadblock was the chef in a previous life. He was the chef.
You'd think they would want barbecue to be the guy that cooked all the food, and instead he's like, "No, I put fires out, man. It's not how this is gonna work.
Everything is raw. He just serves sushi and
sushi and salad." And they're like, "I don't want barbecue to." But Roadblock was excited at first, and he's like, "Oh man, are you serious?"
Like fishy swag again.
I also got regular Outback, so he'll be joining the rest of them in the bin, because I don't have any place to display him, unfortunately.
Right, because Tiger Force Outback is hanging out.
Yes, Tiger Force Outback's going to be able to hang out, and the inevitable Tiger Force version of Dusty will also be hanging out with Tigra and the rest of his forces. Also, I'm glad you gave me a heads up on Cover Girl, because I have not opened her yet.
That artwork is fantastic.
It's really good. I like that they randomly stylize stuff, and that they give different artists who have different kinds of interpretations of the characters a chance to shine, because there's so many. And I think we discussed this before, how like the artwork really does complement the character.
Yeah.
So
we had a whole episode about it, Tom.
I am a huge fan, and last but certainly not least, and has a small story attached to them, if I can find it. I know.
You lost your toys?
The toys that lost us. This is unfortunate.
I really wanted to just now. I had the urge to go. It's right there, Tom. I can see it. Right there.
Where I am not.
Just turn to your left, Tom.
Wow, this is Wow, well, this is unfortunate. I'll have to look through, and I'll show you next week, I guess. So, so
All right.
that's what
It's a
I've done.
mystery.
I know
Way
it's
to
a
leave us on a cliffhanger. I like it. We haven't done that. We've never done a cliffhanger. So first one.
tune
Good
in
job.
next time. It's like Muppets in Space. Oh wait, no, it was the soap opera Muppet
Right. Yeah.
skit where they'd be like, tune in next time to
Or
hear
the
Nurse
end of
Pig say.
the end of the 66 Batman.
Did they ever? I feel like they never really followed up on much of anything. Because weren't there a bunch of episodes where they would just pick up as if it was a cliffhanger, but nothing had actually happened? Like when Batman and Robin were in the giant slushy machine, and I'm like, there's no episode where they get trapped in the slushy machine. They just start off with it.
Right.
I could be misremembering, but I don't think I am.
I feel like there's a pharmaceutical explanation to a lot of the writing of that show.
That makes a lot of sense. Like, look, giant word bubbles appear when they get punched. Hear me out. Also, hit that. So, yeah, I'm sure that there was a lot of that. Oh, also, mystery solved while I was tidying up. So, Zorana arrived from Amazon. So, thank you, Amazon. No, you know who doesn't get any thanks? GameStop. Because they stink. Because they must be hand in hand with Big Daddy Target. Because I pre-ordered. No, so here's what happened. Zorana shows up on the GameStop website months ago. So months ago, Tom said, neat, I want Zorana. I am probably going to prefer to have two of her. And I've got a bunch of gift cards. Awesome. I'm going to buy Zorana and something else to like get whatever deal it was that they had going on. So I put in my order. My confirmation email says, thank you for your purchase of a pre-order of Zorana. And I was like, your site said it was on sale. So they did not have it in stock. They lied. They said it was on pre-order. And my thought was, I used gift cards. Fine. Like, I'll just leave it. It'll show up when it shows up. And this was why for like the last couple of months, I didn't bother getting Zorana because I was like, she's on the way. She'll be on the way. Like, I eventually Zartan's sister will be here.
I think we've all been in a position where we're waiting on some girl to show up like that.
Yep, she's on the way. It'll be fine. Things will be better when she gets here. I get an email from GameStop a few days ago that says, hey, so we were doing some spring cleaning. I kid you not, this is their phrasing. They were doing quote unquote spring cleaning of like random orders and came across my order and we're like, oh, we don't have that anymore. We're just going to cancel your order.
All right.
Thanks.
I feel like you're turning into Andy Rooney at the end of 60 minutes. Andy Rooney would go on about something that personally was something that upset him. Or you should start off, when you're going to do this, you should give us a warning. Say, you know what grinds my gears? Like,
well, it's a good thing that we have a podcast where the two of us can talk about the things that are near and dear to our hearts.
You know what really grinds my gears, Lois?
GameStop being jerks. Grinds my gears right up. So now that I've eaten into a whole bunch of this episode, I actually am not in a bad mood. I am in fact very excited because I've been thinking about this all day. I want to talk about dinosaurs.
Yes.
I'm in a place where I just want to the things that brought me a lot of happiness as a kid, which I feel brought a lot of kids' happiness. Just dinosaurs, good old roaring, stomping. Who knows what they really look like? Dinosaurs.
Right. I was really excited when I was a kid because you know the little plastic dinosaurs, and I have some downstairs because I have found some in parking lots, a Dimetrodon and they always had the brontosaur with the curled neck, so he's looking behind him.
Yes, and he always wanted to know what was back there.
Right, and then he's the only dinosaur that left himself wide open for attack from the front.
he never watched where he was going. He killed so many other dinosaurs because he never looked where he was going.
The heck are you looking at? But when you get those little packs when you're a kid, and then they finally had the idea like, okay, so these dinosaurs are the same molds we've been using since 1912. Let's add a little plastic volcano or a palm tree. And
Yep.
they had the little, yeah.
We
So
all
that
had the
was
we all
that
had
was
the palm
amazing, right?
trees. I love that those are all recognized. The same pterodactyl that had the wings
Right, but he
that were
was
spread out.
standing, like
Yep.
standing upright. Yeah.
He would never ever stand upright on anything. He always had to lean. And then there was that one strange mystery creature. It stood upright. It was on two legs. It had like almost a scorpion tail, and his arms stuck out on the sides. And he had two giant eyes and what looked like catfish whiskers coming off of the sides. It was a very strange
Scorpion
looking.
tail.
Yeah, he had like a weird scorpion.
Because they had the Ankylosaurus that had the club that was
Yeah, there
up
was
like a.
yeah, there was always that one, but this was like he wasn't a dinosaur, and I was always fascinated with him because he was always in the mix. It was always that same. I always imagined they had almost like a cookie sheet with all these shapes just pre-made into the mold, and they would just run it through in X number of colors. But he was part of that. And he always showed up, and he had like the color scheme was a little bit off, but he was always gray, or he's usually like some shade of gray with like bright red on his chest.
I
It's a weird
remember
creature.
you'd get the dinosaur and then you'd have to go find out what kind it was, right? Because there was no guide. You just got
Yeah,
these
no, it was just
dinosaurs in a plastic bag. And then like there was the one that looked like the kind of like the Ghostbusters dog. You know, he didn't have the
yeah.
horns, but it was the moss chops, right? And I took me for that once I figured it out, but now that was like my favorite. And I remember going maybe it was the Smithsonian, I don't know, but I was like, they had a full like moss chops skeleton. I was like, oh, it's awesome. I wanted to go hug it. It just made me. They don't let you do that though.
No, it's not allowed. I mean, you can do it.
Right.
You probably only be able to do it once, which might be worth it. Might be worth it.
Hey, you know what? It wouldn't be the first time I got tasered for hugging someone I shouldn't, right? Yeah, the evolution of I'm glad you brought this up. Like the evolution of the dinosaur toy is cool because like now we've got great dinosaur toys. You've got a huge collection of dinosaur toys.
I
can see them
many.
behind you right there. Actually,
I have way too many. And the more I thought about this, again, like the more excited I got because there's so many lines are almost immediately improved when you throw a dinosaur into it. Like Transformers were fun, and you had Optimus Prime, and that was fine, and Huffer was jerk and whatnot, and then Grimlock appeared, or Grimlock, Slag, and Sludge, and so awesome and so cool, and I loved their episode, and I loved when I actually managed to get my hands on them as toys.
Right, but they were little. Like I wanted them to be big.
I always you had to wait. You had to wait 40 plus years to now finally get Dinobots that are the proper scale to the current Transformers. The ones that they are making right now, the ones that are coming out as, in the studio series,
as we speak,
are phenomenal. Yes, they are fantastic. They've done Grimlock, Slug, and Sludge so far. Snarl has been announced, and they look fantastic next to each other. The only thing that I'm sad about is that they don't have their the swords that came with the toys, but these are based on the animation models, so no such luck. I still want swords though. That would be
well. We can go buy the sandwich swords that we discussed in episode 1.
That would work out perfectly.
Yeah, dinosaur toys are making a big resurgence. Like you and I have two, one, and then one pre-ordered, and then anxiously awaiting the second one that we just got the email about to come out for pre-order. Like they're really starting to make a resurgence. Like dragons and dinosaurs coming back big time, and I love it. It's cool.
Now, what was your earliest dinosaur toy memory? Was it that cluster that you were telling me about before?
Yes, and then Remco had that stock body that they made the AWA wrestlers, the Hercules and Conan and Demos and the Warlord. They use that same body frame, but they had a line of dinosaur. Like they just took that body and put different dinosaur heads on it.
I forgot about that.
And you could get them now that they're pretty pricey now for, and not mega expensive, but they're pretty pricey. And like we used to go to the Woolworths, and that was
Mhm.
the only that was like Remco Central. I don't know why, but like Woolworths over in Cinema Riches, was like Remco Central. Like you could get
Yeah,
Sergeant Rock and Christar and
mhm.
the AW like and those were cool like dinosaur guys. But I mean, it was just human muscle bodies with a just a rubber dinosaur head popped on there. But
I
they were
had
awesome.
I remember getting the or being given the Triceratops, the reddish one that
Yeah,
had the yellow trunks. And I
yeah,
was excited at first until I went to to pose him and the leg popped right out because they were trying to copy He-Man, but they didn't
right.
know how they did it. So instead they used extremely brittle plastic.
Yeah, that white plastic that was
Yep,
just a nub. Yeah, and
yep.
you couldn't glue it because the
Nope.
end of the ball joint was in the leg. So yeah, but they were cool.
Those were really awesome. I always loved those. I always liked the again, like I was a simple kid to make happy. My parents used to buy me those. Do you remember the Imperial dinosaurs? That
Oh yeah, yeah,
those
yeah, yeah.
real, just basic, simple,
And they just
and
had a like spray paint.
yeah, they just one color. I remember having another red Triceratops that had black spray painted onto them. With the,
Yeah,
I always thought they were funny because they had that glassy, wide-eyed expression because they were just their eyes were just dots, but they was always like
right.
right in the
Like
middle
they
of the
were in like
pupil.
under some kind of hypnosis.
Yeah. I had the Triceratops whose horns I sharpened into points because come on, man, how's he gonna
You
defend himself?
you made a dinosaur shiv.
Absolutely, a triple shiv. No one was coming for him on the playground. Those are my Oreos. Back off.
Wow,
Uh, I had there was a Dimetrodon that was
I
he
love
was
the Dimetrodons. Yeah,
yes, he was yellow and he was red. He had red on the top. I always wanted. I liked that he was big. He was big, and the way that he was posed, it was like he was in mid turn, so he had one arm extended and the other ones were kind of folded in, and
yep.
that was his attack hand for me. So if he went after someone, that would be the claw that I
Yeah.
would use to get him.
You
Uh,
know, now that I think back to the little ones, the duck-billed uh
oh
dinosaur
yeah,
had the head turned backwards as well all the time.
they were really curious. They wanted to know what was going on back there.
Maybe they
Uh,
just stood in front of each other and looked back. So
they were instructing each other further. No, 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 stop. You're good. They had the little lights that the airport
yeah,
people had.
come on back.
Bring it
Come on
in,
back.
bring it in. And then there's another duckbill honking as he backs up.
Yeah.
Uh, do you
Uh
remember? Do you remember a board game called Dizzy Dizzy Dinosaur?
yes, I do.
With the little, I always wanted the game. I had no interest in the game. I just wanted that little wind up dinosaur so I could
Yeah.
wind him up and let him go crazy around the room.
Yeah. Uh loyal listeners, Tom and I both have a dear friend named Mikey who is a dinosaur guru, and he never grew out of that dinosaur phase that we all go into when we're 5 6 7 years old. He's still so much so that his wedding ring that his now wife got him is made of fossilized dinosaur bone or something along those lines. It's fantastic. But um
That is true
we
love.
yeah, yes, for dinosaurs. And we should have gotten him on this call, actually. That would have been exciting.
We'll do that later. We'll do a follow up to this, and we'll bring him on and see what he thinks. Because I know he has actually gotten me one of my favorite dinosaurs, Bumpy from the Camp
Yes.
Cretaceous uh,
Yeah.
show on Netflix. Who's fantastic. I love it. And the Ankylosaur is my favorite dinosaur. I
Yes.
love them. I love the look of them. Even as the design has changed over the years.
He's kind
I
of ankylosaur-esque with this tail
Yes,
and the armor. Like this
yep.
is very
I always like to imagine that the Bashosaurus from He-Man, even though he's got kind of the Triceratops face, he had that club thing. So I always like to think that he was maybe part Ankylosaur, part
yeah.
Triceratops, which go Preternia or He-Man. I never owned any of the dinosaurs that came out for that line, but I would love to. The Tyrannosaur, the Bionatops, the Turbodactyl. Did you have any of those?
I didn't. No.
No.
But I'm just thinking as you know, because I didn't have a lot of time to come up with a timeline. I like to go through timelines of
Hmm.
toys, but I'm just thinking about like every so often the dinosaur thing comes back. Like
Hmm.
remember the street sharks turned into dinosaurs? Like they did the
Yes. Yeah,
what
they
were they
became the
called? What
extreme dinosaurs,
of course they were
and
extreme.
that
They
was
were in the 90s.
it was the
Um
90s.
yeah,
That's
everything was
another line
extreme.
that I ignored that line until again there was an Ankylosaur character named Hard Rock or Bad Rock. I forgot which it was.
Mm. Either
But
one
he,
is a good name.
yeah, but he came out towards the end of the line, so he's really hard to find and get a hold of.
Right. And then there was that weird line that I have a couple of. The figures are cool. They're very similar to um the Shadow and that whole line, that came out in the 90s. Like there was
Mhm.
the RoboCop guys but the Cadillacs and dinosaurs.
Yes. See,
Like that was cool.
that's one of the few shows that had
I
dinosaurs in
don't
it
know that they
that
ever
I didn't
released any
watch.
dinosaurs for the toys.
I don't think so. I remember there being, yeah, I remember the characters coming out. I remember the cars coming out, but none of the actual. I
Yeah.
wonder if it's because none of the dinosaurs were integral to the story, but I'm not
Hmm.
sure because I remember flipping through and it would be on, and then I would flip away because I
You're
just
right. I
wasn't
don't
that
think there were any
interested.
like character dinosaurs. They were
Yeah,
just an obstacle that had to be overcome.
yeah, like Dino Riders. There were specific dinosaurs that
Oh
certain
man, those
characters
things are
rode in.
awesome.
They are fantastic. Oh, that reminds me. Have you been keeping up with there is a really cool kind of like independent toy maker making a line called Beasts of the Mesozoic, and he did a
Yeah.
whole line of like raptors with like the more recent look. He also did a series of Triceratops and also Styracosaurs, but in different scales.
Yeah.
There's a one for Tyrannosaurus that's coming out, and he does these really neat homage repaints. I think was it at Legion's Con? I think it may have been at Legion's Con where he had one that was done up like a Tyrannosaur,
Yep.
and that
Yep.
looked really neat. But he's working on a new line called Beast of the Cyberzoic, and it's
Oh,
full
nice.
on full on Dino Riders, and it looks
Cool.
fantastic.
A couple of weeks ago I'd forgotten. I think I showed them here. I got the little cavemen. Maybe I didn't. From Definitely Dinosaurs.
I
Remember that toy
loved
line?
that
They were
line.
so cool.
I
They
love
they had the cavemen, right? The
I
like
can
the one that
yeah,
had
it's
the
a
fro. Yeah,
yeah, the one that had like the blonde fro and
right.
confused me to no
And then
end.
so the one that looked he's bald and has a goatee. He looks like me. Only shorter and buffer.
One of them reminded me of the guy from The Greatest American Hero.
Yes, he
And
did.
I was like,
I
why
know
is he?
exactly which one you're talking about too.
It was like, why is he in this line? I can hear the commercial now, and I always would. And at the end, the kid's like, "Roar! Did I scare you?"
Yeah.
I had the blue brontosaurus from that.
Yes, that's the one I saw when I was in Pennsylvania. I saw that one.
I I'm having a hard time remembering some of the other ones. I know that was there a T-Rex in that line? I don't remember offhand.
Yeah. That you can't have a dinosaur line without T-Rex. Come on.
Had, I remember for a while you kind of couldn't. It was like I said before, like any toy line that existed or any property that existed was like it would go on and go on and go on, and then they were like also with dinosaurs, Rock Lords. Rock
Yes.
Lords
Yes.
has that dinosaur combiner,
Yeah.
because why not? Why not add that in? Um, and now the Dinobots combine, which is it's a point of contention within the fandom. You've got some that like it and some who do not.
Right.
I don't mind because I'm a sucker for combiners. Give me all the combiners.
Yeah, me too. I've been a sucker since Voltron. So talk a little bit about like and you'd be probably more well versed in it than I am. Like that evolution of the dinosaur toy to what we have now. Like the Jurassic Park things are fantastic, but
Yeah,
like
so it has been kind of interesting to watch as science updates and changes and tweaks and finds more information. So too does the way that that is depicted in current toys. And I remember like that stereotypical constant image for decades of the T-Rex. And I guess one of the best examples of that is the Tyrannosaur from Preternia, upright, head perched on top of a neck, the two tiny the giant thighs, which he had anyway, but mostly like this the tail dragging, very Godzilla-esque.
Right, standing straight up as opposed to having that counterbalance.
Yeah, and I mean, Godzilla was inspired by that design anyway. But and seeing the slow turn, and even now, there's a certain level of resistance to it, and I get that because I fall on both sides of the coin. Going from it's upright, it's what you remember, and what you're comfortable with. As a kid, those are your formidable years, and you've seen this particular depiction of this particular creature. Same thing with the Ankylosaur. I gravitated towards him so much because some of the earliest artwork that I had seen of one was it's a giant armored turtle, and it had an armored head and the back and what, but it was depicted more as like a shell than anything else. And we now know, thanks to science and depictions and better technology, that it doesn't look quite like that, and that comes across in the toys. But I think everyone can kind of get what they want. I like that the current Jurassic Park line adheres to what science has been kind of dictating. So now the T-Rex, even the original Jurassic Park line, the T-Rex had more of that angled appearance. It had the counterbalanced tail. It had the head shape has changed, like with the more recent ones, because again, like science tells us it should look a little more like this. Maybe it's not quite like that. But it's kind of funny seeing them have an opportunity to make dinosaurs that we would just never see. Like we've seen molds that where I actually question whether or not this is a real dinosaur, because they've had all they've had a chance to go through kind of like the entire library, the whole Rolodex of
and
dinosaurs they've run through.
The fact is, it doesn't really matter if it's a real dinosaur or not, because like you said earlier, like every toy line is better when you add a dinosaur. Like when I was young and Star Wars started making some of the, they made the Tauntaun and the Wampa, like all I wanted was the dewback, right?
Yeah.
Because it looked like a dinosaur.
Yep.
And then I got the one that's huge, the huge dewback. It's downstairs with a stormtrooper on it. I mean, it's huge. It's 2.5 feet long. But I couldn't not buy the dewback. Yeah. I don't have any other of those, but I needed the dewback. And just those dinosaur-esque creatures in any storyline, like it doesn't even matter if it's ridiculous. Like you and I now are saying, like, I really want that Spider-Man T-Rex. Why? Yes, it's ridiculous, but it's a Spider-Man T-Rex, so we have to get it.
It kills me that McFarlane, for all the crazy Batmans that he loves making, he has not yet made that Bat-Rex from Dark Knight's Metals. There's the hilarious alternate version of him where he puts his mind into that dinosaur robot in his cave, and puts a giant Batman symbol on him. Yeah, and there's a show for that now. There is an actual show for a Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur. I want a toy of that. I'm still waiting for the Build-A-Figure of Stegron.
Yeah,
I really wish Marvel would get on that instead of making a tiny Build-A-Figure of a dog. I think that'd be great.
But I mean, even from the even very young, like The Land Before Time.
Yes. Oh my God, I love that.
The Land of the Lost. When we started watching that as kids, The Land of the Lost. The old Hanna-Barbera Dino Boy.
Yeah.
Like just traveling back to prehistoric time and seeing dinosaurs has been a magnificent dream of every child, like at least the boys, where you are either obsessed with dinosaurs or trucks, right? Maybe robots. There's a robot thing in between there too, but like everybody's first toy, right, was either a truck or a dinosaur, and that's just the way it is. And if you can combine those in some way, that would be a magnificent toy.
Yeah, I think that there is someone that will always, it will be appealing to someone
Even out
everyone
the
has-
Dinosaur Train. Have you ever watched that show? It's
Yes.
magnificent. The Dinosaur Train is just a fantastic show.
Imaginext, the dinosaur toys
Oh
for
my God.
Imaginext.
How did we not even talk about that?
Huge, chunky, solid, well built, no balancing issues. Like their T-Rex that had the segmented body, but you could, and the feet were such that you could plunk it down anywhere and it would stand. And I got
And
those
the
with my
skeletal
nephews,
one,
and they,
that 2 foot.
yeah, the giant playset was phenomenal. I like that we live in a world now where you can get all of your tastes catered to. You have Beasts of the Mesozoic that takes a much more kind of like scientifically accurate look at the way dinosaurs, look according to current information. But they're also articulated. They're well done. The plate jobs are beautiful. And then on the flip side, if you love dinosaurs like I did, and you really want some like full on rock'em sock'em dinosaur fight in action, Boss Fight Studios is doing that really cool. What is it? Warriors of the Saurozoic.
Yeah,
they look awesome, and I can't wait to get a hold of them.
I know. I'm breathlessly awaiting their dropping those pre-orders.
I feel terrible. What is the Kickstarter that is going to be starting soon? I meant to look it up and I forgot at the last minute.
Right, the one we just got the email about.
Yes, it's. Oh no! Oh, I have failed these people. I don't remember the name of it. I'm going to put it in the show notes. But that looks like a super exciting dinosaur warrior toy line. They're supposed to be huge. The Four Horsemen worked on them, which is really cool. And we met the gentleman at Legion's Con.
Yeah, and he's a fantastic guy. And yeah, I it's escaping me. I'm looking for the email. But they are huge.
Now, what do you think about that? Would you prefer for them to be a pretty decent size, or do you think it'd be better for them to be smaller?
I like them. I like because we've got some lines coming out on the 6-inch scale and the 7-inch scale, but I think that that bigger size is awesome.
To bring it back real quick to toy lines that just got better and better once you introduced dinosaurs to them, Ninja Turtles, when they went into space and they fought the Triceratons, just immediately made them even more hardcore. I will never forget, and I'm still waiting for NECA to hopefully at some point put out those gladiator Triceratons. Never did I enjoy Ninja Turtles more than when those guys went head to head with those gladiators and beat them to death.
Armies of Ashmore.
Armies of Ashmore. Awesome. So hopefully by the time this episode airs, that the Kickstarter may be live, and I'll post a link to it in the show notes. And do you remember towards the end of the Ninja Turtles line, when Playmates they were just reaching back and they were pulling into their catalog, they sent turtles back in time to the prehistoric age. So they were like the prehistoric turtles and the Tyranno Shredder.
I liked how the caveman turtle looked. He was so Cro-Maggy.
Yes. Do you remember that oh my lord, Primal Rage? Do you remember the toy line for Primal Rage?
How did we not talk about Primal Rage?
We may have to double up on this episode.
So many dinosaurs.
So we are in the final throes of this episode. So this has been fun. I appreciate you indulging my Dinomania. If you enjoyed this episode of two guys talking about dinosaurs, please like and subscribe to the video. Get a hold of us on Twitter. Our Twitter handle is 2 Guys Talking Toys. The number 2, no G after the talking. The email is the same, 2 Guys Talking Toys. The number 2, no G just a G after the talking.
Just a G?
Oh no G.
No G.
No G's here. Just 2 guys talking
Roar!
toys.
Did I scare you?
Take care, everybody.